You know, fart so much.
Yeah.
You do. And you love to say it.
I think farts are funny.
Yeah.
You know what else I think is funny?
Glen, are you okay? Glen, are you okay? That was intense. I don't know how to console you when I feel the way I do right now. I was gonna maybe redo my under eyes, but I don't have to if we're going or anything.
Yeah, redo your under eyes. I'm sure our goblins would like that.
Any fun flavors I can have?
You could have some.
I don't like sweet popcorn. I would only want it if it's a single.
Ah! Come on. No. On the brown. Well, why don't we deal with the popcorn later? We'll deal with the popcorn later. Cut to theme music! Cut to theme music!
Honey, only on the brown. You know better.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah!
Look at your little mustache, Ricky. I cried for 38 minutes. I'm crying seeing you. No, don't. I cried for 38 minutes. Why do you have the mustache? No, Glenn.
Because I'm trying to grow something out for the next few days. What's that?
Is your angel baby? How do you feel about that? Can that go out so he doesn't touch the couch at all? What about a towel? He's a dog. What? You can't.
Yes, he's a dog.
You can't make him not go on a piece of couch.
Oh, I don't remember giving you a +1.
I got my own towel because I'm at Ricky's.
Yeah, that's a clean towel.
All right.
Glenn, are you finding new stuff?
Well, I'm doing pretty much different sniffs, different everything of this, and each thing I do sniffs, okay?
Yes.
That's what that
Here,
looks
I
like.
want you to put the headphones on and get comfortable where you can hear yourself at a good volume on the microphone.
It's hard not to hear me. Oh, good, you have asshole wipes on the bottom of the counter. Okay.
Make sure we put in the laugh track on the hard to not hear me, and then those laughs continue while new, bigger laughs come in on the asshole wipes.
That's right. Open the curtains, live studio audience. Cute.
Absolutely brilliant. Does this feel like it's on you, or does it need to go a certain way?
No, feels like it's on me. If anything, it would turn like a tiny bit this way, but it's on me exactly.
So it's on you.
So sorry, my name is Coco Montrese. I'm a drag queen named Glenny.
Jack, will you put the towel in the neck? Oh, never mind, you did. I was going to see if you could put the clean towel on the toilet seat. Clean towels on the toilet seat.
It's not clean anymore because I used it to wipe my hands, and I'll be the only one that's using it.
Yeah,
so you don't care where it
If you end up
goes.
using it again, you're using a toilet seat towel.
It's not on the toilet. It's on the lid.
Cleaner than the seat.
That's what, right. So
It's a toilet lid.
Okay, but be easy saying toilet seat because it's not on the seat. I didn't put it where people's like bare legs go.
No, you didn't. You just put it where everybody just puts anything that they want, and it's probably the dirtiest thing because it's clean the least. FanDuel. What's up, all my boppers and goblins? It's your boy Rick Glassman, and I got news for you. New customers get a chance to turn $5 into $280 cash, and that's with our sponsors, FanDuel. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use code TYSO, unless you're too scared. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Do you use Manscaped?
Love Manscaped. I'm all trimmed up. I got a huge labia. You can see my clit.
You know, you could use code TYSO for 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com.
You know, Big Rick, 4 million men already trust Manscaped, and you should join too.
This is Jackie Tohn.
Yeah, a lot of people are putting anything they want on a toilet lid. Lots of snacks, lots of drinks.
Well, I have stylists coming over all the time now, and he treats the toilet lid. What happened?
Well, there's a blanket down here, so you won't have to worry, but I dripped.
Yeah.
He knows when I'm coming.
You know, it's like sometimes when things happen out of nowhere, it seems like magic. But the truth is, if you really prepare, you could turn anything into a bunch of flowers. Hello, my name is Rick Glassman of the Take Your Shoes Off podcast, and today our special guest is Jackie Tohn. You may know her from American Idol, The Nanny, Glow, A Cooking Thing, or some game shows, but I know her best as one of my best friends. Jackie, welcome back to the podcast.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Ricky. Also, always lead with American Idol. Thank you.
Hello, is this thing on?
Hi, can I ever talk to Ricky for 1 second? It's Jackie. I'm calling to see. Hi, Debbie. Can you put Ricky on? Thanks. No, Steve, hang up. I'm looking for Ricky. Anyway.
Let me really test your levels. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, is Ricky home? It's Jackie. Debbie, it's Jackie. Steve, hang up. It's me.
Brilliant.
Looking for...
Okay, now do you hear you and... do you hear the two of us in
I
a
hear us
comfortable
perfectly.
way?
I hear you louder than me always, but
That's your ego talking. Or should I say?
It's your ego making you louder. But here's a question.
This doesn't sound normal to you? What? Maybe your headphones are just...
Let me ask you this. Can I have a hat? A version of that hat. Can you make me another one?
Yes, but switch the headphones to turn. You had the wrong thing on. Turn it around. Yeah, that should be better. Now put it back on. How's that? Does that sound better?
It's much better.
Okay. Hello. I have been wanting to do an episode because so many these episodes are like 45 minutes in. And it's like we start. I really want to do like a 90-minute episode where it's just
Never starts.
Ooh,
well, that would be us. Yeah.
So just so people, shout out to As We See on Amazon Prime. The show's out now. You could binge all 8 episodes today. But just to put you in a little bit of a world of what it's like to have autism, this is what it's like having a conversation with Jackie. Jackie, how are you?
I'm really good, Ricky. Yeah, right. That was me 5 seconds ago, and I'm neurotypical.
Yeah.
Oh, cool neck scratch.
Thanks. You should see the other guy.
Hey, let me ask you this. Did you need to put those flowers so close to you that every time you move, little petals fall in the chair?
We did we had a screening. The screening was digital because COVID. And I was here, and they sent the cast flowers because they wanted there to be some continuity because everybody was in a different location and doing different stuff. But oddly, they didn't send us all the same flowers, so it just looked like everyone had flowers.
Funny.
Thank you. And shout out to Chris Pang, fantastic. Oh, everyone's so good, everyone's so good. But Chris, he's on our show.
Who does he play?
He plays Violet's brother, handsome man.
You're not kidding.
And everybody is... some people are, have a backdrop. Like, this is where I podcast, so I have like a setup. And some people you could see, like, they put a little table over and the flowers, and they put like something behind them. And they're like, but Chris looked like he was swallowed by a whale, and then they turned the lights on. It was just
a candle.
Yeah,
just one candle.
It was just him in a. Maybe we could put up a pic. You guys will freak. Him in a tuxedo suit with a little end table and just a big thing of flowers, but he's framed. This because obviously wherever the thing was is where it could be. So he's this big in this huge thing.
Wait, I was going to ask you something as you were talking. Oh, I remember. It's going to be fun. You're too loud again.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. Hey.
Is this good?
Hey, let me just say
Hello?
right here. Perfect. No problem.
So let's do something for you now. Let's get you to have the mic underneath. Right? Now angle it. Yeah. Brilliant. Hello?
Hi, Debbie.
Damn it, I tried to turn it the other way.
King.
All right. Fun things. So let's get into it. I have some prepared questions.
Please, of course.
Jackie,
Ricky.
with everything that's going on in the world right now where representation is so important, what is your take on the queer community, the people of color, trans, and the autistic that, like, don't you think that they need to have more, like, don't you think it starts, it starts at the top? Like, we need more showrunners that, that are these things.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. Let's see. Kamala Harris.
Yes. How everybody pronounces it.
And AOC, which stands for Alexander Ortiz.
All out champs.
Yes.
I think.
What do you think about how important it is that, like, we have, like, people in office that could finally, like, fix the world?
Very important. Very important.
What do you think about the Paris...
Agreement?
Yeah, the agreement that Paris made with...
Notre Dame?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about remember in Paris when that church?
First of all, of course I do. Always in Paris. Always going. So
I would say forget Paris. Shout out to Billy Crystal, put his Instagram handle up here. But how could you, after the Church of Notre Dame burnt to a crisp, and everybody was throwing billions of dollars, we need to save this church, but how come nobody's doing anything about global warming?
you could. Well, I was saying you could also, if you wanted to do one more hit on the table, but it might. Yeah, it would look like it would maybe shake.
If you had $40 billion to fix the world,
If
once you get the check for the $40 billion,
once.
do you have $40 billion?
Yep.
How could you use that to fix the world? What would you start with?
Get Glen and Puff Vest because I just recently got him one. It was way too big. Then I got him a smaller size. It was way too small. I said, "Isn't there anything in the middle?"
Well, thanks for coming over, Jackie.
My pleasure. And did everyone get those same flowers?
Do you want?
One?
Yeah. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Is it? If I break one off, what would that look like? You don't do that. Speaking of breaking one off, I was walking here. I was walking around the neighborhood. You know, my legs were tired.
Sure.
And I saw.
Arms were fine?
I was walking around the neighborhood, and boy, my arms
We're fine.
were fine.
That's right.
Yeah, because my legs were tired.
Of course.
And I saw this beautiful dog. Beautiful dog. A type of dog that when you see it, you go like this. Okay, but there's a person walking the dog, and you have to acknowledge the person, and you can't stare. And I said,
never acknowledge the person, and it always kind of burns their ass. And I'm like, well, this isn't an interaction about you.
But it is an interaction that is costing them time.
Sometimes, but I just like, if we pass each other, I'm never like, oh, what's up, man? Cute dog. I'm always like, oh, good morning. How are you? Is your name Carl?
Yeah, you could get away with it because you're doing a performance and you have that cute voice.
Oh.
But I go, hi, beautiful dog. So I could then, like look at the dog. And I said, it looked like a model. And I said, it looks like it has an Instagram. And the guy who, coincidentally, I didn't notice at first, was extremely handsome. He goes, he doesn't have an Instagram. And I realized that he thought I was trying to get his phone number through the dog's Instagram. I don't know if he really thought that, but that was my insecurity. Oh, does he think I'm like hitting on him?
So then you guys blew each other. Lol.
I overcompensated that I'm not hitting on him.
Oh, what next?
But in a way that he would never know until he watches this.
My girlfriend's tits are huge. Enormous milky jugs. Anyway, cute dog.
My girlfriend and I were really looking for a dog like this, but we can't have a big dog because her tits take up too much of the house.
too much of the whole fucking space. Anyway, I guess your dog is cute.
I just felt the need to let him know I'm not hitting on him. And I'm like, can I take a picture? But I made sure that I close
of
enough.
You.
Yeah. Could we take a picture? But yeah, I just it's a mini golden.
I thought you were gonna say I love goldens, but I thought you were gonna say golden doodle because I know you love doodles.
Well, I love golden retrievers. They just shed too much, so I want a golden doodle. But when I want a golden doodle, I don't. They're too. A lot of them are very cutesy. I saw one that is mother or father is golden doodle, and the other one is poodle. So it's just crazy curly hair.
Did I text you Glen's genetic results?
Ashkenazi, 98%.
You're so good. Did I?
No.
Should I do it now and you find it on your phone?
Sure.
Okay, because this is for the goblins because we all agree we're dealing with a street rat. At his handsomest, he looks like, is it Shredder? No.
Splinter.
No, who's the rat in Ninja Turtles?
I think I knew what you were asking.
Splinter?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever in all the years I've known you offended you as much as I did when I suggested that maybe you couldn't discern between the two characters in Ninja Turtles when here you are drinking out of a cowabunga cup. My bad. Apology, goblins.
Who says that? Maya Angelou?
Yeah, that was Maya Angelou, yeah.
You had a very nice rhythm with that.
Oh, whoa. The whole thing. You're not gonna.
Why did you get a test to see what the dog is? Just so.
Well, because he's my best friend. He's my number one best friend, my son, my confidant. And I thought, what is he? And every time we're walking, people are like, what kind of dog is he?
Right.
And when Kristen made me that painting of Glen dressed as a rabbi.
Yes.
Random people were DMing me that their dog looked just like Glen. And I've never seen a dog that looks like him. and I was asking everybody what their dogs were, and they were running the gamut. Nobody knew.
Running the what?
Running the gamut. Like
Gamut or gambit?
gamut. I think it's GAMUT. Let's look, or you look while I look up the Glenny's test results. Who did I text this to that I could find it easily? Right here, boom.
Gamut. Running the gamut. GAMUT. What is a gamut?
Also, you're checking my check it. Like today, you just texted me when I was here. Ready, whoever you are. So just so you know who we're dealing with.
I wasn't sure who's coming over.
Yeah, it was me.
I'm a bad speller.
Yeah, we know.
WENO.
I have friends who live over in Weno.
Edit that in.
Yeah.
The complete range or scope of something. The whole gamut of human That seems superfluous then to say whole.
Superfluous.
How do you spell that?
Not superfluous. FLUOUS.
Superfluous.
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 What about that device in 90s sitcoms where you go, that's what I said. Superfluous.
But also, like, I don't give a fuck. I love when you say, I don't care how you say
I learned that word in 11th grade and in drama class, and I've used it 25 times since, and every time I use it, I'm bragging. And I've been using it wrong.
I used to do that with the word pedantic, which means preachy. For many, many years, I was like, oh, well, he's going pedantic. He's going on. And like truly 10 years after I started using it, a friend of mine was like, I've just been wanting to sort of, I didn't want to sort of bring it up unless you used it again. But that's not right. You've been running around your entire life. Check your texts.
Going pedantic, how do you say it?
Pedantic.
No, but how did you say it?
Pedactic.
Going pedantic, it sounds like something like
Jurassic Park.
a Super Saiyan would do, in Star Trek, like before you go the speed of light.
You go pedantic.
Yeah.
Right before the speed of light. So do you want to guess what he might be?
I did already, and I'm wrong.
Well, 98%. No, you're right. He's 98% Ashkenazi. But what kind of dog? Don't look.
I don't know. I mean, there's got to be a little Chihuahua, a little Fox, a little Jew.
See, because I thought a little Jew, a little Chihuahua, and maybe Dachshund, maybe Terrier.
Oh, wow. Look at this. 47 Chihuahua, 27 Poodle, small. I'm very, very surprised because she does shed a lot.
That's a poodle? This is a street rat that lives under someone's stairs.
18% miniature pinscher. And then the most offensive, I didn't know that something like this would say this. Super mutt. Man,
Ricky, he could fall asleep like this. He could fall asleep like this.
I would like to have Glenn come over to do a CBD commercial with us.
Oh, you could do one.
Jackie, the last time you were here, this is your third appearance, right?
Maybe fourth.
Fourth appearance. You did one at the old place, regular episode, one at the old place, holiday episode.
Exactly.
Balcony holiday episode.
Yep. Balcony holiday, yes.
Yes, it was the holiday episode because remember we had we'll show it, the fireplace. What happened?
His breath isn't great.
Oh, I'm shocked.
It's not good.
You texted me here. I said I could smell him. No, I was brushing my teeth But this is a fourth appearance. So I don't know how big that club is, but I don't think it's Glenn on the blankets, bud. On the blankets. Let's show a little bit of Glenn who came over when we knew that we didn't know about the supermut. We just thought he was 98% pure Ashkenazi Jew.
Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah, Glen. Happy Hanukkah, one and all.
And I haven't seen you in a while.
I know I haven't seen you. I miss you.
Yeah.
I really haven't seen you. What have you been doing?
The podcast.
Well, that I know.
I've been traveling. I went home for a couple months.
Okay, so I do know. I knew you went home.
And then the past couple of weeks, I was doing a lot of promotion for our show.
Home for a couple months.
Yeah, I went home for like 6 weeks, but then I wasn't feeling well. Mm-hmm. So I ended up staying for a couple more weeks.
Do you not feel, I know you're just joking, but you don't say you got COVID?
Well, who's to say?
Well, you could say, okay. I was in a Pilates class this morning, my first since I was like, okay, I could just wear an N95 and go back into a closed space because I had COVID. And one of the teachers was like, you haven't been here in ages. And I was like, yeah, I had COVID. And I was like, you can't say in an inside space.
Right.
Like you could tell people's buttholes puckered, but I was also like, well, no, now I'm technically safer, but whatever. But it's such a touchy thing. You can't just be like, yeah, I had COVID.
Yeah, the world is a touchy place, and that is not good for COVID because everybody likes to be touchy. People have been giving me hugs, and I used to have a boundary that was like very instinctual. No, what are you doing? And now, because I don't know if I care, I know that I'm fine not hugging, but like, I don't know, maybe it's fine. So I feel, I go, and then it's like, by that point, they're already hugging. It's like, well,
you were never much of like a hugging randoms or handshaking randoms before COVID.
The only time I hugged is if I forgot somebody's name. You're not a germ-loving person. Funny. And I would do that to make sure that they go, oh, he must know my name. He hugged me.
For sure. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more connected I am on a how you doing is the more I've never seen your face before.
The more I have no memory of who you are.
No clue. Did I ever tell you the story of a friend of mine who... We did a comedy show together, and we were at this event, and I'm talking to this girl who I'd never seen before. And then my friend comes over, and a couple minutes into this conversation now, I'm realizing, oh, that's his wife who I've met 10 times?
17 times, right, sure.
Fuck, I got away with that. And then we go into another room, and then a different girl comes up to me and is talking, and this girl obviously knows me, but I have no idea who she is until that same friend comes up, and I realize that's the same woman that I just saw 15 minutes ago. I have no
question.
idea.
Is that a special autistic thing, or is that a you thing, or is that...
I'm not making a joke when I say I don't know the difference.
Okay, sure, fair.
They are kind of the same thing.
They're you.
But I have very, very bad facial recognition. And not
15 minutes is hilarious. How do I know her?
I know. I knew. I knew it wasn't somebody it wasn't.
No, I knew for a fact it wasn't someone I just met. So now I have to clock, who is this?
Because I saw her in a different context and in a different room. So I guess in my subconscious, that girl is always in that room. you know,
you live in here.
Yeah.
As we see, it is so.
Don't say bad.
Of course, I'm not going to say
it's so
bad.
Shit, and I'm shocked.
I don't know your co-stars' names yet. I've only seen the pilot. I was having like an out-of-body experience watching it last night. It was like, first of all, watching you shine is like really... I mean, this is a little bit of a weird thing to say, but I think I feel as close to how your mother feels watching you as anyone on the planet. Like, I just am like... because I love you so much. I just can't even believe it. And it's like so many things you actually do, but obviously heightened. And it's like when this is not a spoiler, obviously, once you hear what I'm about to say. Well, it's a teeny spoiler. When your character goes
pedantic.
When your character starts going pedantic right before he hits the speed of light, when you put that fucking napkin on your hand after this thing happens at your job, I won't spoil, and you go and you pick them up.
It's okay. I think you could say it's early on. I get fired at the beginning.
So you get fired at like the very beginning because you tell your boss that he's a fucking idiot and you're a genius. And
I'd love to cut to a montage of me telling guests, "You're an idiot. I'm a genius."
Or
now.
you can cut to a montage of you telling my mom the hot dogs were blue and that you.
Oh, let's tell that story.
Okay.
I'm sure we have, but we'll do it again.
But just so anybody at home thinks that like this character they're watching on TV isn't just actually Ricky being Ricky. It's just fascinating. I mean, obviously it's a heightened version.
There's some things that were very much that I was glad to be able to bring to it. That is one of them. It was the first scene of my character. And by the first scene of establishing my character, it's also the first time that I'm leading a show. So it's also my first experience doing this with people that it's not their first time doing this. And I know that Rick, be easy to work with and just, pick your, to choose your swings wisely.
Which you didn't know years ago.
Correct.
Right.
And now I know so much to where I'm worried that I won't know. I said this. I just did Santino's podcast. I think
I love him.
It was on his. I think
love him so much. Okay.
it just came out maybe last Friday.
I'm gonna listen.
We talked about maybe I was talking to him anyway. I feel like a lot of times I was always just walking through walking down on the beach, never looking at the sand and just walking. And now I was told there's a line in the sand, but like I still don't look. I'm not looking down. Or I don't know. That's not a good. I'm blindfolded. Like I just don't know when I'm crossing the line, but I'm more aware that it's there.
Oh,
so
that's a great way to put it.
But now I'm like hesitant of crossing the line when many times I'm nowhere near the line.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Finding that balance is has been like this chapter of where I am to where I'm now so much missing. Go back to fucking forgetting about the line, man, because you were fine.
And kicking your shower slide off into a light in an American Apparel because you were excited to see me one time.
Yeah, it's fun energy.
For who?
For whom? My Asian friend whom? Cut to a clip. Could I say friend?
Of course.
And so on this show, and I'm definitely extra sensitive to that because I'm in a workplace environment. So we're setting up the scene, and they have set deck has these muffins on a table in the other corner, and I knew that when I was leaving, I love eat acting, I love doing things, and I knew when I was leaving, I wanted to like be distracted about something. So I asked Jason Kadam's our showrunner, and the Jesse, who you worked with, who did a lot of Glow.
Jesse Peretz directed the pilot of Glow, and I think our finale and many episodes in between.
Shout out to
and
Jesse, open his Instagram handle.
he's freaking awesome.
He was great. And I was talking to the two of them, who I've just met recently, and I said, "Is there any way?" Because I want to do stuff, and they're like, "Well, what do you mean?" So I'm like on the bookshelf, and they go, "Yeah," and they look like they didn't care.
Oh,
which is fine if I think it adds something. And then I'm like, okay, so this could happen. And I said, "Is there any way we could move the table of muffins over?" And they went, "Sure." And then
that's interesting because that's like a full set deck question. That's
I mean, it took them 4 minutes.
I'm not saying it takes long. It's like that's not an actor call. Like the shot is set up, what the director has in the shot. What are we looking at? Set deck made it like that's. I love that. I love that was able to happen.
And not only did they do it. They laughed when I did the muffin thing. So, you never know if a tag is the end of the scene is going to make it in, but we just did it every take. And then they even did a turnaround at the end where they go outside looking a different way, like they did a different setup to pick it up. And it was such a nice moment for me. It was such a win because, it's just a little silly fun thing that helped the character because now I'm this guy.
It was one of my favorite parts of the pilot.
But also it made me realize like, I could be collaborating on this. Like I felt safe of like, I still don't know where the line is, but I knew I'm not up against it,
Also, when you're calmly asking a question, you're probably not near the line because you're hoping that you're working with people who are like, "Nah, man, we can't move shit around, but that would be, that'd be fun if we could." So at least there's like, you're asking something. You're not like showing up being a dick who's like, "My character would do this thing and I need the art department to move the table of muffins over there." Then that's more like, fucking dude has no idea what it's like to be on the set. The reality is
a lot of people would say, "Sure," because I'm one of the leads of the show.
Oh, yeah. And then just be like this fucking guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm totally fine with them being like, "Rick, no, that doesn't happen."
Right.
There was another time on set something happened. Didn't happen. We were filming this scene toward the end of the series, and they were trying to figure out how to do something because there was music involved, and there was choreography, and this part was a little long, and they didn't want to cut the whole thing, and I had a good idea, but it's there's 5 people in the scene, and there's a lot going on, and it's an important scene, and
and it's hard too when you have a good idea, but it's like someone else's job.
And they're still figuring it out. And then I decided, I'm like, I have an idea. What's that? And this was something where like all the crew is around. The showrunner, Jason, is there. The people that are acting, it's like a scene where there's, more stuff. So it's like, there's an audience of 30. And as soon as I said I have an idea and they go, "Yeah," and I'm telling it, I know like, great, this is good. And I say the idea, and then I didn't articulate it in the most efficient, so it was probably 30 seconds, which felt like,
4 minutes, sure.
Yeah, it's just, what's, I have an idea. What if we do this? Nah, or yeah. But I'm like, all right, so here's why, and then Jason, because he's nice, and
he hired a show of autistic people. He knows that there's going to be moments where people are going to be explaining things and it might not be at a pace he's used to. And
maybe, I don't know if anybody else was doing this stuff.
Sure.
There's definitely
Not
like
surprising.
a director in me that like wants to collaborate in my mind,
sure.
but also maybe take control also. And
wear a lot of hats.
he goes, he thinks about it. He already has an answer, but he's acting. He goes, huh. He might as well be going, interesting, because as soon as he
Screw a monocle in.
as soon as he looked up and to the left, I knew, oh, Jason, it's okay. Just say no. But I'm like, I can't shut him up, let him have his performance. So he goes, that's interesting. Yeah, you know what? Well, think about it. Who's we, first of all? So because I'm trying to train people how to talk to me always, I go, it's okay. It's okay. Just it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. And he goes, no, well, but it's like, no, just, you're not going to say no to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is an interesting. Yeah, there's so many things there. For me, though, I know you just have a lot of. I might think too highly of you, but I just think you're so creative and you have so many great ideas that it's like, I don't know. What are you pointing at? How bad you need to clean?
I didn't want to distract you, and I thought that would happen, and it did. But I wanted because you guys get out of here now. Wanted to try something else.
Yeah, can you guys go? This wasn't about you right now. Actually, I just was trying to have a moment with Ricky.
When you said I had a whole bunch of good ideas, I just brought in a whole bunch of dicks to run around. Goblin willies.
Yeah, that's why I asked them to leave, because I was actually trying to have a moment, but it passed.
And this is what happens. These ideas, they mess up moments.
Right.
Or they create, hit it.
Gold, got it. There's goblin dicks and they are everywhere. Goblin dicks and they are in my hair.
Yeah, so you think maybe it's because you think so highly of me, but I have good ideas?
Well, yeah, I know I've seen it not go great, but I just think like you on a show that you're starring in and you're bringing so much of yourself to it. I like that. I like you being like, calmly, what about this thought and that thought? I think it's just going to add so much to the show. I was not fun to watch the show with last night because I was too, I was so vocal and I was like screaming and I was like, I was so into it.
Were you, because you were on a much bigger ensemble, were you ever wanting, because you're controlling, like similar to me, you like control. I don't know if you like control in that type of aspect.
But I'm similar in that like I have a lot of ideas and I want to share them. And I'm like, oh, this would be funny. And I have,
Did you?
a very active brain. Yes, a lot of the time. I mean, I think obviously this goes without saying, and I'm assuming this is the case with you and as we see it, but only when it applies to me. I mean, I had plenty of ideas when it applied to other people, but I would never say those.
I always feel more comfortable pitching ideas with other people.
Well, I could pitch it to a fellow actor and be like, yo, it'll be super funny. And I would love for people to do that same thing to me. I think a lot of the time, to your point earlier, like people don't, because you don't know how it's going to go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like, you're not going to tell someone like, not that you'd ever give a fucking line reading to a fellow actor, but like, oh, it would be so funny if you did this next take like this.
My thoughts
But
for other people.
I like when people do that.
I don't mind it either because I could say no or maybe.
Yeah.
But I was talking more like with the director and certain like
I love
bits to be happening in the background and how to involve the Roomba or other little fun things.
The Roomba.
But
if
go
you
ahead.
think I didn't cry, it's going to be another spoiler, but you can cut it out. But I just want to tell you, as my friend, this thing that really affected me.
Oh, all right. So just under the parts that we want to cut out, we'll just interject you.
Or you can like bleep.
But
when Sosie is talking to you and you're walking back and he's
Let me interject you.
for the first time, I'm a disaster. The show is doing to me exactly what it's supposed to do to an audience member. Like I'm hook, line, and sinker. And he goes to the and you walk by, you're holding the Roomba. I already clock you with the stupid fucking the handle on the top. I'm crying. She starts talking to you. And then you tell her in not so many words, like with sort of this combination of like the dead eyes you had in the scene with but so much more behind them, and you're like almost about to cry, but it doesn't feel like your character really does cry. And then you just like tell her, take your Roomba, and you walk by. I may as well have been in fetal position under the couch.
There's a lot of emotional stuff in it. And
it's so fascinating to play it that way because it doesn't.
I'm not supposed to cry. Yeah, and there were moments where the moments were like, in order to connect to it, you get sad, but you're not allowed to. And then there's a story toward the end where my character tries to learn how to cry to show somebody what he thinks is normal, and like I'm watching manipulative commercials and like trying to sit there and learn. But during the show, there's emotion and there's a lot of beautiful stuff and sad stuff, and I really wanted to be funny. You know,
were so funny.
There are some funny moments, but Can I please eat my last slice and not talk? That whole scene where you didn't want to talk while you were eating. I mean, I was so mad the whole time. I loved it. I want to hear more about what you pitch and what the experiences and where you felt, but also explain it in a way where you felt like, look at me, this was good, it was received well, and when you noticed like, oh, I'm embarrassed. Will do. And I'm glad you brought it back, because I was going to be like, oh, I wanted to finish telling you about Glow, but then I thought, wait, now we're talking about your show. I'm not going to bring it back to Glow, so I'm glad you did. I'm pitching you Glow. Oh my gosh. Okay, go. No, I'm saying, I'm like, here's an idea, here's a line read. Okay, here's a line read, talk about Glow. I just know that we're so lucky, and I think a similar thing is happening with you on your show, but the writers of our show, of Glow, they really, God, it's so fucking pretentious to talk about acting. And I always thought that before I worked. I was like, oh, nobody wants to hear it. Like to talk about craft. Yeah. But I just thought the writers of our show, they listened, they like were so in tune with who we were that like, they were like, the way to make these people shine is let them do what they do. Mm-hmm. And so, but they got our tones of voices so well that I can't tell you how many times people were like, yo, I know that was you improving. Like, what's up? That was amazing. And I was like, no, that was, I just said the words. Like, I think there's an episode in the first season where I steal Ruth, Alison Brie's shoes. Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh, like I have a pair of shoes in the car you can borrow. I did that. It was very, yeah. And she pulls them out and I go, oh, she goes, oh, from when my old waitressing days. I go, where'd you waitress? A nursing home in Poland? And everybody was like, I mean, that's something your mother would say, Jackie. That's something that's just, you made that up. And I was like, no, they just wrote that. And didn't you also have, I mean, it was, what was it, like 2017 it came out or something? I don't really remember. But didn't you also have stuff in your car? Oh, yeah. Which you in real life are always having blankets and shoes to give to people. I remember I told this story not too long ago where we went into a coffee shop and this isn't a homeless woman. This was just a woman in a coffee shop who was cold. And you saw she was cold because I think she must have been like kind of being a little cold. And we got the coffee and we left, and you noticed this cold woman, and you also know I have coats in my car that I said I'm going to get rid of. I got to give them away. And you go up to her and you're like, hey, excuse me, are you cold? I didn't hear what you said, but it was like something like that. Whatever it was, she wanted a jacket, and you went and you just got her this jacket. And I was like, first of all, so nice, also so ballsy to be able to like, even when there's somebody homeless. You have to sort of worded in a way like, I remember, I was super broke and I was doing like a black box theater show or whatever, and the director's wife came and they were all like cute and fancy, and I loved her shoes, and she was like, I never wear them, take them. And I was like, what are you gonna wear home, Lisa? And she was like, I don't know, go barefoot to the car, like have the shoes. I like them, but you're like obsessed with them, like just have the shoes. And it just was so cute. And I don't think she would have done that if I like was a person who had a lot of money. I was like sharing a 1-bedroom apartment with a friend, and like, she just was like, oh, this is fun and cute. This like 19, 20-year-old girl is broke and likes my shoes. She just fucking have them. And I think it didn't make me feel like a charity case. It just was like, thanks, dude. That was really nice. But she knew you liked them. That's true. But also, that's true. But I think I'm just coming from a place of like, I didn't just randomly ask a woman in a t-shirt if she wanted a jacket. I'm very codependent, but I just have like, it's a superpower and the plague that I'm like reading the room so constantly that it's just like, what does everybody need in every corner of everything? But I think a lot of the time it's like, because it makes you feel good that you are of use to someone. Mm-hmm. But I think it's like,
I don't even know. That is like just a quick yes, but like I'm not thinking that
Give
in
me
the
a slow one.
Yeah.
Oh, so in the moment, that's not even a conscious thought.
No, I'm just like, oh, she's cold. I have a jacket in the car. It's very obvious to me. My favorite thing to do is when anyone's getting rid of a suitcase or I see like someone threw out a suitcase, but it works. I always throw that in the car because I noticed that I don't think that we're saying homeless anymore, are we?
It's fine.
Unhoused?
It's
Okay.
fine.
I wasn't worried about the what's the word I'm looking for? The PC of it all.
Nomenclature.
I just couldn't remember. Anyway, our all the homeless
Unhoused.
people, unhoused folks around.
Please.
Fuck off. All the unhoused folks around town.
Let's give a quick shout out to Path, by the way.
Oh my God, my
You
favorite.
want to do a little commercial?
Yeah, for sure.
I will put in a little jingle music.
Hi, I'm Jackie Tohn, and this is Rick Glassman. We're here talking about Path Partners, which is one of the most amazing nonprofit organizations I've ever volunteered for, I've ever even heard of.
They help place homeless families into homes, set them up with a furnished house, and get them jobs. Visit epath.com. Is it ePath? I feel like it's ePath or Pathy.
Let's look because this is so sweet. I love it so much.
Path, it's people assisting the homeless, but I think there's an E.
There is a weird E.
Well, we'll put up a lower third during the thing and their Instagram
I
as
have
well.
no Wi-Fi in here, and I don't know
Right.
if the goblins know, but Ricky doesn't let anybody who comes in the house have the Wi-Fi password. So I have no service and no Wi-Fi, so I can't even shout out this charity organization in a way that I'd like to.
Well, you don't have to make it like we're still getting there. epath.org.
epath.org.
Yeah. So go on.
Oh, and I just noticed that when homeless
Suitcases.
people are walking around, they're oftentimes using so there's two things that are my favorite things to keep in the car. Like a good reusable shoulder bag that has
Yeah,
like a
you've always
thick
loved
shoulder and then a wheelie because it's just so heartbreaking. I think these folks have enough bullshit to deal with constantly that to not even have a good bag to schlep your shit in that's not like a plastic bag from the grocery store that's just going to break.
And hurts your hands.
Oh my God, it kills me. So I like to just go oh, hey, I'm getting rid of these bags. Is there any way you could use them? I was just going to.
Yeah, that's the trick. It's finding a way of saying, you're helping me out if you take this, but having to be authentic.
Right, because it's a thin line because you're not going to be like, would you help me? And
Yeah, could you help me and take this $5?
Yeah.
I really don't like dirty
it's weighing
money.
down my wallet. I'm so rich.
You going through all the 20s to find the 5? Were you bringing, you talking to that woman, we're going to get back to Glow.
Sure.
You talking to that woman and offering her jacket is a tough thing because I find that when I see a homeless person, what do you,
Unhoused? I don't think that's right either.
maybe homeless X?
Oh, that's it.
When you see somebody who is in need of something, at least of something that I could potentially offer, but they don't have a sign that says, I need $5.
Yeah, it's hard. You're just like, what am I going to?
It's tough because when you offer them something that you don't want to insult or assume. But also sometimes it's like, this person could use the $5. Mm-hmm. I have caught myself numerous times. What I do is I pace. I'm looking for eye contact, and they don't do it. So I'll walk by, and then I'll walk back. But if that still didn't work, I have to find a reason to go back against them. Like, oh wait, where the fuck is the and try and
Right.
to where they look. To then if there's eye contact, I don't think the eye contact is going to be like, give me, But there's something about you. Maybe it starts a conversation or something, or how you doing, or I could use it, whatever the thing might be. But it's tough if there's no sign.
Sure. And then I think I don't, when I was living in New York, I remember years and years ago, my mom put this in me, and I don't know, it's just something we've always loved to do together. But anytime we would be getting rid of coats and stuff, we would just get on the Long Island Railroad. And at the time, Penn Station and Grand Central Station and all those places, they were super heavily homeless. And it's also a weird thing to think about because I think Giuliani made them go somewhere, but I don't want to speak to that. I don't really know what happened. But anyways, we used to just bring coats and go to the city, and sometimes we would just offer them to people, and sometimes they would be like, no, I want money, and it's it's hard,
Well, wanting money is something that we could all relate to.
Of course.
We at the Take Your Shoes Off podcast, we love making money. We also have a lot of expenses to take care of the dicks that are running around.
Yeah, those aren't free.
So I'd like to go ahead and take a
dicks are
moment to
free.
say thank you to some of our sponsors. And if you guys are looking to support the podcast, why don't you support one of these brands? We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. And Iris, have I got a surprise for you? A Rick and Goblin Take Your Shoes Off, Marvel inspired from the 1991 trading card series, comic book characters with me as Wolverine and of course the Goblin as Hulk.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Just something I always dreamed I would have. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Tell them where to get it at TYSOcards.com.
You can get one of
Wait
these.
until you look to them.
You can get this card. And
Wait.
You can get this card, and I advise you to do so at Tyson's Card.
TYSO.
TYSO.
Can say TYSO.
TYSO. Thank you.
No. TYSO Cards.
TYSO Cards.
Spell it, all of it.
TYSOCARDS. Is it .com?
Yeah.
.com. Bye-bye.
And we're back. Not sure that was the most sensitive way to go to commercial, but we've done it.
What do you mean?
It feels like it might be that like Imagine video where like famous rich people think they're being...
I loved what they did for the community. What was
like
so
they
great
think
is...
they're being in touch, but it's like going from talking about homelessness to your podcast sponsors. I don't know that it was...
Well, we're at a time... Listen...
Okay, fair.
It's got to be within a certain time frame, all right? And I didn't want to stop talking about homeless so I could start talking about like poop, so I could be like, by the way,
mattresses. Yeah, no, I get it. So back to Glow.
Not yet.
Okay.
I also have this.
And I have to pee.
I'll tell you what. How about this?
Okay, I'm listening.
How about during when we cut to that commercial?
Yeah.
What we actually did was cut back to the Path commercial. Then we came back, and now you're going pee, and we'll cut to the commercial.
Yep.
Or if the Path, we already did Path, maybe it'll be a Marshall Roy Gallery commercial.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Oh, but for real, is there another one of those hats, or is that the only one?
This Marshall Roy Gallery hat and Marshall Roy Gallery sweatshirt, we'll put the pictures up here, are available at rickglassman.com. Go ahead and click on the store. That is rickglassman.com. And don't forget to use promo code BOOBS for 10% off. I'll get you a hat. Why don't you go pee, and we'll be right back with either a word from our sponsors or Marshall Roy Gallery.
Or Glen.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel, and to celebrate, new customers can bet $5 to win $280 in cash on either team to win when you use the promo code TYSO when registering. So I know what you're thinking. I'm sick of having to make money the old-fashioned way by going down to the old gas station, putting up a sign that says car wash for my school, and you put yourself into a bikini and you rub yourself all over the cars. Well, there's other ways to make money. Listen, there's no better place to bet Super Bowl 56 than with FanDuel. They got promotions for new and existing customers. They got same game parlays when you can combine small bets to win bigger ones, tons of Super Bowl props, and listen, this one's even my favorite. This is number 4. And more. And you can bet on it. Listen, don't miss your chance to turn $5 into $280. Cash. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use promo code TYSO to make every moment more this Super Bowl. Again, promo code TYSO exclusively on FanDuel Sportsbook.
21 and over and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $280. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-BETS off in Iowa. 1-800-9 with it in Indiana. 1-877-770 stop in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPNY HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 in New York. TN Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. So you use Manscaped.
I love
You're
it.
hip.
Big fan.
Publicists hip.
Yeah, there's no pubes on these hips.
You know, they're a hip company. They're like, hey, check out our balls, man. We're saying the stuff that the other razors are too scared to talk about. Bleep the F word. So as a comedian, they would love to have somebody like you probably working with them. Not that it's necessary, but like imagine this professional comedian punching up their shit. Do something with this.
Okay.
This tool is amazing, and I'm confident using the 4.0 to leave 2021 and my gross pubes with it.
This tool is amazing. Talk about my dick. And I'm confident using a 4.0 to really trim it up. You got to get on it, folks. Wait till you see my genitals. It's on TMZ tonight.
You see the difference?
Yeah, comedy.
Let's talk about being clean, feeling and smelling good. The new ultra premium body wash from Manscaped solves all three for the perfect addition to your daily grooming routine, but in the shower. Shower every day. I got more. And hope you do too. This body wash is infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, nice, and moisturized. With Manscaped, you'll be a brand new man and ready to kick all the gross hair and smells out with 2021. Let me hear you do that.
Hey, folks, good to be here. Get on that Manscaped. Shine up your sack. Get it clean. Trim it up. It'll look bigger. It'll look better. It'll look blacker. I'll see you in the dressing room.
But the soap in the shower.
Oh, the soap, the shower. You got to lather. You got to clean it up. You got to wipe those berries down.
Get 20% off and free shipping when you use code TYSO at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code TYSO. Happy New Year to your balls.
Yeah.
Can I hear you do you have a closing joke?
Yes.
Can I hear you just do the punchline of the closing joke and then somehow use Happy New Year to your balls? Or could you?
I was going to use that.
Great.
Okay,
Let me hear it.
You say that or do I do it?
You do it. This is your closer now.
Yeah, after that Manscaped, my balls are in dry January.
Happy New Year to your balls. Hey, thanks for doing this with me.
Thanks for having me.
Let me help to check you.
You looking for Jax? You looking for your mommy?
Hi, Glen.
Let me check you.
What do you find? Did you find some wires?
Wow, these are delicious wires. I freaking love these wires. I can't believe these are here.
He's so calm.
I can't believe these wires I've been here to me.
On the blanket.
I can't believe these wires are here to me. I'd ring me these wires are you. How come you shaped like a poodle? Hi, I'm Glen. I'm going to Westminster because I'm a purebred poodle. Yeah, right. Get a grip, right, Ricky?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because he always acts like he's a purebred poodle.
You know, I've been to Westminster.
Shut up. Oh, in England. No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have I? I don't know. I did a Ricky Takes London video, so I was just putting up a plug. We'll put up the thumbnail here. Check this out and take a quick little tour of London with me. We'll do a swipe. Westminster Abbey, formerly known as the Collegiate Church of St. Peter, Westminster, was made in 1066. Oh, pardon me. We're going to hold for bus. No, I'm just a little bus British comedy. They're fucking weird over here.
Squish.
I mean, come on. Are you the doggy in frame like that?
Yes.
He's sitting on you almost as saying like, oh, she's mine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he actually is doing that. That's not even what he's almost saying.
I've heard him bark 4 times. Since
Yeah,
I've met him.
I was supposed to say that's 2 times more than I've heard him bark, which the math is weird there, but.
You're such a sweet little boy.
He too nice for his name is glad his voice was like this.
So we got people if they want to buy hats. We got people if they want to buy some brands. And also check out epath.org. It really is, I'm serious, a beautiful charity. And
well, the best
donate
thing,
something, right?
For sure. Well, the best thing about Path, I find, is like, you know, it sets these folks up for success. It's not just like, well, here's like, because I've always thought there are these like wonderful organizations that like, you know, bring food to the folks on Skid Row, and then what a beautiful thing to do. Those people
you're giving a man
need
a
that
fish.
Exactly.
But these are
100%. It's really, and also. So what happens is like Ricky and I have done these in like big groups, like 10 people will get together, like a friend group will get together and furnish these people's apartment. And they need more and more and more volunteers because obviously the same group of people can't do that all the time.
It's also such a good time because you're doing it with people you know. It feels good because you're giving, but also it doesn't feel, it's not like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it doesn't feel like, you're there like, the whole time. It's just like, it's so tangible. Mm-hmm. Because
it's like Extreme Makeover. Like then the people come home and they were formerly in a shelter and they look around this apartment, which is theirs now. And it's stocked with toilet paper and toothbrushes.
So many things. I thought it was
food and
it was
a
so
couch
beautiful.
and a dining room table and chairs.
The list of things that like, oh right, houses need not just a bed.
Oh no, the houses need everything, and it's not like
the plunger, a
you
toilet,
don't just
dishwashing soap.
Mm-hmm. And with Path, they don't just give them the space and go like, well, good luck. The floor should be comfy. At least it's a roof. It's like, no, legit, fully furnished. It's not the lap of luxury, but it's incredible.
And also you get to do it with like, it's like a day.
Oh,
so you get to like have this experience. It was just, I thought it was beautiful. But then when I started doing it with you guys, it was like, I get it. Like when you donate money and it is nice and needed. And when you give food, it's nice and needed. But like, it feels like you're building something, you know?
You literally are.
Anyway, so we're talking about Glow and you picking your
just
moments.
like we were talking about. I just think, I'm similar to you. I mean, in a lot of ways, but I'm not great at picking my moments either. Like I just sort of like, because I don't necessarily need people to pick their moments with me, because you and I are very good at just being like, no, I don't love that. Mm-hmm. I don't have any problem. But in the same way, if I pitch something to you and you go, no, I don't really love that, I'm not butthurt. I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's actually interesting. My writing partner and I had to get to that place together because I didn't know that I maybe didn't have like a really, I could have assumed, but I didn't have the softest bedside manner as a writing partner, because she'd pitch something and I'd be like, yeah, I would just take a shit. I'd be like, can you write that on an index card? And then I'd take a shit on it. But I was like, I don't know, and then we had this conversation and it was ultimately like, oh, and what's funny is when I would pitch something, she'd be really sweet about it.
Right.
And in my brain, I'd be going, I don't need you to be sweet about it. Just say it's good or bad.
It's like people go, great set.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Here, you want to text me the notes? So I'm just like, and that's not what a wonderful thing to do and to be. Like, I don't think she was in the wrong by like being soft and kind about it. Here's a perfect example. I was at Michael's right before this getting something framed, and the lady would put something down. One of the, they pull the frames, like the corners off the wall, and they put it down. Mm-hmm. And I go, no, not the mat, like the actual frame, like a piece of the corner of the frame. And I'd be like, no. And then I said to her at one point, because I too am learning who I am. Yeah. I go, oh, sorry if I'm being like curt or harsh. I don't mean to be. And she goes, no, I have to tell you, I love it. It's so efficient.
Yes.
People don't want to offend me. So she goes, there's 400 frames on the wall. If I'm going to bring you out 30 and every time you don't want to offend me and you go,
this is nice.
It is pretty, but if there was some, get on with it. Mm-hmm. And that's how I am in a lot of aspects of my life. And I think there are times, just like you're saying, God, I have to figure out where the line is, let alone when to cross it and pick my battles. I have to figure out the times in my life where like, oh, maybe a little softness is necessary here. Even though when someone gives me that, I certainly appreciate someone being kind and gentle with me. But if it's the same thing with the frames, if we're writing a movie and it's joke, we can't sit here and hold each other's hands every single time somebody has an idea.
I have a take on this.
Please.
People, the problem isn't the efficiency. The problem is the assumption of how they feel about me, or the lack of respect, right? And that all comes from unspoken expectations. So that awareness, but also I learned this from my mom, who sometimes my mom will be on customer service type of thing, or talking to somebody about getting some money back, or the whatever it might be, and the internet's going out, and she'll be like, I just want to let you know, if I sound frustrated, I am, and I'm sorry, I'm not frustrated at you, I've just been on hold for 2 hours, or blah blah blah. Just getting that out of the way so they feel connected, and also she still gets to be that. Love it. And also what I've learned is it's great.
I mean, people go to therapy for 25 years to learn that exact thing, where you're just like, and it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Minimizing, to be like, use your words.
I was so mad that when you said, what's the, when you said, what's the, I was already trying to remember the before space travel word.
Pedantic. Pedactic.
Roger Pedactic.
But
I couldn't, And then anyway.
Damn it.
Frustrates me.
But it's really minimizing to be like, use your words. But I feel that way all the time with people where it's like you and I can just very easily be like, no, I don't. And I can take no, I can say no, but I think we're definitely not in the majority.
However, the only disconnect is that they don't know that, because it's hard to remember that people don't know what's in your head. So all you have to do is be like, I just want to let you know there's a lot of things on the wall. I'm just going to go yes, no. I mean, no disrespect.
100%.
And there's also something really attractive of somebody taking control of that too. Because hey, Rick, listen, I know you jokes. You're very funny. I'm not going to, whatever. Great.
Yep.
Great. But
it's
you gotta have to say that.
Immediately getting on the same page. Yeah, it's so true. And I didn't, and like then I look back on our writing and how many times I was like, no, it's not it. But also if that comes back to me, because I pitched just as many things that we didn't end up using. But I just didn't realize that the way we were meeting there was so different. So it was good. It was obviously helped us with growth. And now I think that's another one too. Instead of being like, God, that's how she deals with stuff. Like, I don't want to work with her, or me thinking that, whatever. Instead, we had like a really good conversation about it. And then everyone was like, oh, I get it. That makes sense.
Everyone, the two of you.
Just the two of us. Right. But I just mean in any example of like any two people just being like those, I don't know, here I go, I'm preaching, but like those growth moments instead of like them being turn off moments. Or like if you're doing something that someone's like, ooh, or I'm doing something often, it's like, well, let's just talk about it. Mm-hmm. But that's not comfy for a lot of peeps.
I'm going to be direct. Tell me about Glow.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know that I have specific examples, and that's why I went into the writing partner thing, but I think it was like...
What about with your music?
What about it?
Because now they're asking you to do music, and you
write Glow?
That. Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't even write that.
But I'm saying you are someone who writes music.
Yes.
So was there a part of you that wanted to like, well, I kind of want to play to my assets better or whatever?
In performance, yes. And I was like, oh, can I go up here? And then the girls were doing background vocals. And so this guy, Craig, he was one of our composers and songwriters for the show. And then so I felt comfortable saying to him like, oh, what if the girls do this on backgrounds? And like, it was very collaborative. But I never was so lucky with that show, because I think in all the fun and wild and crazy shit they had us do, I never really felt like my hands were tied. I never felt like I couldn't just go like, hey, I have this for an idea. And anytime, well, this is an interesting one, I'll tell you, but anytime I did do like a little improv or put something a little more in my, I couldn't, a little more in my voice.
Like a zhuzh?
Like a little zhuzh, like a little improv, a little something I threw on the end, which we did all the time. They were open to it. I never felt like it was like, can you say it as written, which we all were doing anyway because it was written so amazingly. But one of the wildest times I ever did it on that show was there was an episode where my character Melrose the girls have a Seder in while they're camping. And she just feels like a really bad Jew. Her mom's yelling at her because she didn't come home for the holidays. And she's like, they're all sitting there camping. And she's like, look, can we just have like an impromptu Seder? And everyone's like, what even is that? So she sits everybody down. They're like, they made a Seder plate out of one of the hubcaps from her limo. It's just like really delicious. And she starts talking about how she comes from Holocaust survivors, and I come from Holocaust survivors. So I asked our showrunners if I could change the name in the script
to your grandparents.
To my grandma's. Well, my grandma made it. So my grandma's sister, who didn't make it, because the story was about someone who didn't make it. And so I said, can I change it to Aunt Pessel? Because that was my grandma's sister who didn't make it out of Poland. And they loved it. And they were like, absolutely. It's like, I just chills, but like in what universe do you have a chance to like, what's the word? Immortalize a member of your family in a TV show. It's just as like, it's good. They were really open and really just good.
Where do you feel when you're on an ensemble show and you're not as important in so many moments to the story?
Okay, rude.
Your character.
Yeah, no, it's still rude.
But you do know what I'm saying, right?
Of course. That was major in Glow. We were like, season 1, we were like, if it wasn't our storyline, we were like proper background actors.
I experienced that on Undateable, being the sixth lead, lower third. And it took me to, the middle to the end of the second season to even to begin to appreciate the reality that, my
that you
job,
won the lottery.
well, but less Rick, be happy no matter what, and more just like really connecting to it, which is like, I thought my job was to be an actor and to be funny, but really my job was to bat cleanup and get the rebounds. That's my job. Oh, I'm supposed to be doing this little bit, and that helped me so much. Then I get on a show to where I have more responsibility, and it's a better place to go. It's like, being a food runner before you're the waiter. It's a better place to go. And I'm also then watching people who are doing stuff, getting rebounds and doing the smaller stuff, and watching how much that they know that's their job, or they don't realize that there's any other job.
That was sort of, I remember we were together when that was going on. And
You and I had broken up before I really started to get it. Earlier, you're saying like the first season when I was.
Oh yeah, and that's my point.
Yeah.
Like you didn't get it, and
Right.
I had been acting at that point for 20 something years, and
Just to be clear, I booked the TV show Undateable, the multicam. It was my first job. You and I were dating. I wasn't sure if that made sense to people that don't know the Undateable story.
Tiny dicks everywhere, and so it's vindicating is the wrong word, but it's like it like puts my shoulders back and down a little. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like it makes me exhale to hear you say that you went on that journey, because I was only there at the beginning of that journey. And I remember, as a person who'd been trying to get any fucking job for 20 something years, I could see that you were just like, you were realizing in real time that like it wasn't yours. Like this was like you were on it, but it wasn't your show. This wasn't like Ricky Takes Manhattan.
It was also the added layer to it was, it's not that it needed to be my show. I literally felt that I had no part on the show. I mean, there were episodes where I had most of them, 2 or 3 lines. However,
and that's hard. I'm not minimizing that. That's fucking hard.
The journey of 8 months before that was going through it with my best friend, and we are like finding this thing and talking about the fun stuff we could do. And then he got the opportunity, and I felt like I wasn't getting opportunities. Mm-hmm. So it also made it tough because, like, I don't know, I talked to him about it, but he, also a couple of things. I spoke about it probably in a way that wasn't the most aware. And, he, a friend of mine, it was new for him too. And just the way it worked. And there became this, like, he didn't want to talk. It just became like it wasn't just professional. There also was stuff like, oh, here's a friend that I'm going through something with that I can't talk to about it because the way I'm received felt uncomfortable to me. So now I'm like, I can't talk about this with my friends. So now I'm feeling even further removed from it. The reality is I'm in this bubble that is, I'm making money for the first time, and I'm working and I'm meeting people and I'm doing shows in front of live studio audiences. But my blinders are on, and I'm in this bubble where, like, I'm not able to talk to my friends about stuff. It's like, I remember how I felt then which was you try forever to make it in the NBA, and then you make it in the NBA, and everyone is like, you're in the NBA, that's the best. But like, you're used to playing constantly and being great, and now you never get in. And you're like, no, it's great that I'm here, but like, I'm never playing. It's
so fascinating to hear you talk about it that way, and that's a really good way to put it. I remember years ago, the exact same conversation happened. Everything okay? The exact same conversation happened because I was touring. I was doing like musical comedy on the road, and I was playing a million colleges, and it was, listen, obviously there's nothing more out of touch than calling it a living nightmare, which is what I was going to say. It sucked. As a girl alone, traveling the country, taking like puddle jumpers to Kearney, Nebraska, and then staying in a motel, because if you stay in a hotel, that's half of your fucking money that you're barely making. You're already renting a car and paying for your own flight, so you want to get the cheapest motel you possibly could. There's like a bunch of construction workers. They're the only other people staying in the hotel. You're walking to your room with your guitar on, and they're like, hey, where are you going? And you're like, okay, I don't feel safe. I'm scared. It's a whole thing. But I remember I would tell people like, oh my God, this road life is like really, and I had so many friends who were like, do you know how hard I would kill? Idiot. He wants a snack. Do you know how
Is there
hard?
anything I could give him?
Maybe I have food in the car too. I forgot to bring it up. Is there?
Let me look for something real quick.
Okay.
I could hear you though. I mean,
Should I just keep talking while you're looking for food for Glenn, or
you
wait?
aren't distracted from that.
No, I'm not distracted. And the end of the thought is just to say how many friends I had that were like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky," and you're complaining. And it was like, but you don't know what I'm going through. You don't know that, like, I'm not making that much money. I don't feel safe. This is not satisfying. This isn't creatively satisfying. It was a really challenging time because in that same way, like, I didn't feel like I could talk to anybody about it because everybody just was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, you're so lucky."
I have these meal delivery things, and I have a thing that is of pancakes and egg whites. I don't want to give all of them, but I can't imagine he's eating too many pancakes. Would he eat cold pancake?
What's in it?
It's gluten-free and dairy-free. I know that, but let me tell you.
What about the egg whites? He would like that even more.
Sure.
Let me introduce you.
Oh my God, it's too much.
Do you want a fork, and do you want stuff for you? I would say over the tray, but we're on blankets.
Sit.
Here, use the tray though. You're fine. It's fine.
You really no. The problem is if I give him the bowl.
He'll eat for a week.
Oh man. Okay.
You notice that the towel is no longer on the toilet.
Oh yeah, well. Shame me once, as they say, right?
Yeah, shame her once, and now we have toilet towel on the clean sink. How did you know that, Glenny? That meant he wanted food because you knew he didn't have to pee.
It's dinner time. Well, no, I took him for a nice long walk before, and it's
Cute.
fully dinner time.
Oh, he's just saying, "Mom, I'm hungry," and now he's got it. So he's like, "Okay."
Did you see how he told us?
He went down though. Why do you think he went down?
Because he's like, "Oh, we're going. I'm going to show you. We have to go to it."
Oh, I want to fill my water. Right, that makes sense.
He said,
goes,
"Oh,
"Follow
here,
me."
let's go to it. Follow me. Well, I'll show you where it is."
Sweetie.
But you don't even know where it is, Totini. He followed Ricky because he know Ricky feeds him.
Does he want something else?
No, I mean, of course, but not because he's hungry, because he's...
Because he likes the flavor. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what. What I like from you is to stay on the blanket. Yes. Yes, you're a good boy.
Oh, Ricky your best friend now because he give you dairy.
So we were talking about how you felt like you had nobody you could talk to complain about things that other people were wanting.
It's just interesting because I hear when you were struggling with Undateable.
This is switch.
When you is it off? Oh no!
No, we heard you. This is better.
All right, calm down. When we heard you. When it was when you were struggling with Undateable, I couldn't relate because I wanted what you had so bad. But I of course could relate because at that same time I had this other thing that so many other people wanted that I was struggling with because I was like, this isn't the thing I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. It's go ahead.
No, I was just, and then I got distracted by naked Kristen, but it's just, yeah, I mean,
I'll put up the picture. We'll cut to a clip. I am basically gifting you something, and it's yours.
Okay.
Unless you give permission to give it to me.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and open it, and you know, it's fine.
Okay.
Could I have this? You can show it to camera unless you don't want to. If that's yours, it's yours.
Of course. I'm curious when this was taken. I don't recall her doing a nude shoot. Is this her or is that her face?
That's her.
I don't even recognize
It was for I forgot the name of the magazine. I bought it clearly as a joke.
Yeah.
But then I thought it might be a fun Easter egg to have in the back somewhere.
I think that's great. I think you should have that for sure. If you have something of Betty, that I hope this is Betty nude.
No, it's
okay.
Something else. But that's my gift to you.
Okay. Hindsight and all the things I can't see in front of me. Justin Timberlake.
We're out of time. That's Dax Shepard from Armchair Expert.
And we're back. Just that, you know, in the time it was hard for me to relate, but then talking about it now, I'm going like, yeah, I've gone through that exact same thing. I mean, even, I don't want to talk about that, but there's been times when I've been in like pretty objectively unbelievable experiences. And because I battle with like anxiety and depression and stuff, I have to just like challenge myself to and just enjoy the thing that is truly from an outside view, just objectively wonderful.
Yeah.
And I can even see it's objectively wonderful, but sometimes can't get past your own brain.
Yeah, that's why a lot of enlightened people or speak on enlightenment is all about
gratitude,
practicing the gratitude, and like.
But do you find that if you practice gratitude, I saw Sarah Bareilles posted on Instagram the other day, like a little picture of her antidepressant in her hand, and I just thought she really put it so beautifully that it's like,
hey, Glennie, come on.
No amount.
Little feet.
No, he wears high heels. No amount of that I've been able to see, and I think obviously there are definitely people who are enlightened, but in my personal life, no amount of practicing gratitude, which I've done as a practice for many years, not currently like sitting here gratitude journaling, but I have. It definitely helps, and it's an amazing exercise, an amazing thing to do for your own personal growth and to just point out to yourself how fucking lucky you are all the time. But sometimes when you're chemically depressed or anxious, you just fucking are. Mm-hmm. And it's like no amount of like, you are one, you have to be one of the luckiest people in the world. Think about that. But it's like, well, that doesn't make the anvil on my sternum lift off. It's well, you have to, my psychology.
The being fair of what being grateful means. It doesn't mean now I'm happy.
Right.
It's just a reminder of to just, open the, here's another perspective. Like it's, it's just a reminder to like, I'm not looking at everything. Here's still the stuff that I'm depressed about. But now there's also, that's true.
Right.
Like, and it also helps with that perspective in the communication of how to ask for help or what help could be beneficial to you. For example, if I had the awareness now that I had in season 1 of that show, I would have been able to approach my friends from a different place, which isn't just like, I don't ever fucking get to say anything, which is instead it's like, I know I don't get to say much. I know that's not my job. If we could find I want to find, I'm searching for a joke. I'm still maybe upset. Maybe I'm working harder now for the same thing. But like, also by that attitude that I had, and then also my jokes aren't funny. The jokes that I was doing on that show about her having huge boobs are the same jokes that I love doing on this show because I'm playing a character and I'm doing it ironically.
Of course.
I didn't realize just be the character. I was thinking I really had to be this guy who really felt like boobs are great. It's like it's a fucking multicam. Just talk about how big her titties are and just have that silly energy. And just by that, maybe, he had a better energy because he wasn't judging. He delivered the joke better. We want to give him more jokes. Yeah. It's, But yeah, I hear you because I was grateful. Wow, look at this and like a paycheck. Like I remember, I had moved. I had to have roommates, and then I was in that new place, but I had no furniture. And then you came with me to Pottery Barn because I wanted to get this bed frame, but it was $2,000, and I couldn't do it. And even though I know the checks are coming, I had to wait until I got a few of them. And it's like, this is fucking awesome. But fuck, so it's not everything.
I know.
But it is perspective.
And there's just so much. Just being alive is compared to spare. You're just like, you look at what everybody else has got going on and you want it for you. And it's all just also, this business is so, I think I certainly know this because I, started acting when I was 9, and I didn't really find any like real success until I was in my mid-30s. And so.
What was that? Glow?
Mm-hmm. And like, so I'm so hyper aware of the temporary nature of it all and how you can like have it one day and not the next day and not have it for 20 years. And then it's like.
I'm finding this conversation now getting depressing.
Okay, great. I don't think that's a depressing thought. I think it's like if there's other stuff you can do while you're not, a series regular on a TV show, then it's not that depressing. It's just fair.
But also, what else is there? As far as the business that we're in.
I mean, there's
guest starring?
No, there's like you could do a stand-up special. You could.
Yeah, I mean, I bet as an actor.
No, but I'm not talking about as an actor. I'm like, I would be just as satisfied if I was like, hosting something on the Food Network, or if I was, if my writing partner and I, we make our movie, even if it's super indie and we just fucking hodgepodge it together ourselves, or writing. If there's some way that you can pitch a pilot and get money to write a script. I don't know. I mean, listen,
it's exciting stuff because it's a step, but the truth is, you're not buying a house doing those things. Hosting a show, maybe, because
Right.
you're still, that's the same thing. You're just a regular reoccurring on a television show. You're selling a pilot that doesn't get made or doesn't get picked up, or writing an indie movie. All of those things.
those are like that. You almost take a loss on those. But I'm talking about like creatively fulfilling. There's a lot of other stuff you can do other than be an actor. I mean, if you want to make enough money to buy a house, you got to be on all the shows. I mean, at this point in Los Angeles, it's like
if you're on a TV show,
one show for one season is like
no, not for one season.
Get out of here.
Not for one season. But like, there's nothing that pays. Every job, with the exception of if you're a movie star or somebody that's already big. Mm-hmm. If there's somebody who we don't know who that person is and they got a great, here's their breakout role, right? The only way to live in Los Angeles and be as an actor,
correct,
and buy a house, only way is to be a lead on a television show, a reoccurring on television show. That doesn't guarantee you a house.
Oh no, certainly not.
Network, if you get to do 22 episodes.
Oh, get out of here.
But like
network is another level. I mean, if you get to do 22 episodes on a network television show, one season could buy you a house.
It's crazy to think that a network television show
streamer
is
you do
3 years of a streamer.
Yeah.
We can't complain. Things are,
of course,
but
unbelievable.
Also, I auditioned. I pulled up an audition. I pulled up my audition for today because I wanted to make sure to remember. I'll tell you the story. It's a different part of it, but I wanted to see the original audition sheet, and it was March of 2019. So the show just came out. It's gonna be almost 3 years where they didn't let me do any. I couldn't do any other shows, which it's what it is. But because of COVID,
right?
3 years, 8 episodes of television. That's all I was allowed to do, and it's like it's wild. And also, I can't do anything else now. If there's going to be a season 2, great, and if we get to do it, great. Who knows when we film it? So it's just like it's just such a fucking.
It's wild.
It's so hard.
There's so much. It's a crazy amount of waiting. And if you think about that, and if that show wasn't, I mean, this is so fucking inside baseball. I don't know. It's so hard for me to track what's in and out.
It's fine.
Of.
Just explain it if it's not.
Well, just
intuitive.
that, like, I was just going to say financially, like, if that show wasn't like. I don't know what it was, but it's like if it wasn't crazy financially lucrative, that's 3 years where you can't do anything else. So you need to make enough money in that season that you did that show
to last
you for 3 years. Yeah, it's wild.
When I had the show, I still lived in the other place. The reason I was able to upgrade to this place, which is still just another place that I'm renting, is because at the time my Patreon and the money I was making from Patreon.
Do you still have a Patreon?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Patreon.com/ShakyShoesOff exclusive episodes. I actually just did one with my cousins, Brandon and Annabella, that we're putting up there.
They're cute.
And my stylist came during it, and we were talking, and
I didn't know you had a stylist.
Just for this press, we can have press run.
I can't. Did Amazon hire her, or did you find a stylist and you picked her? And
I hired a
her?
publicist.
You have a publicist? Okay, well, tell me later.
Her name is Melissa.
What company?
I guess it's okay to say, right? IDPR.
Great. How did you end up choosing?
I met with a few. There were 2 that I wanted to work with. I connected with right away. The other person, I've heard a lot of my more successful friends are with this person. A lot of comedies.
And are you doing a couple months with her or just
Trying
1
a couple
month?
months and seeing.
$5,000 a month?
I don't want to talk about the price.
Well, you don't say, you could edit all this out.
We'll bleep it.
Okay, I'll tell you later. I mean, I'll tell you what I've paid.
Let me interject you.
Let me interject you.
And the other guy I wanted to talk to again because I only spoke with him once and everything was good. I just didn't feel like this other girl was just like, I don't know. I also feel like my relationships with women are a bit more honest.
I buy it.
I also think women...
Because you don't have a filter, and I think often men don't have filters, but in a different way. Like you're your brain works in such a way that you just like absolutely say what you mean all the time. And I think a lot of people don't do that. And
I find that the way men act around me is wanting to play or compete, which I love. I also want to get stuff done, and I don't need to hear about. We don't need to do all that stuff. Like on the professional side is where I need bits the least.
Sure.
You know. So like when, yeah, man, you know, wanting to talk to me about the sports that I don't even care about, and then I also am not perfect at this, and I'm like, yo, yeah, man, it sucks. You know, like LeBron left, but so did I, and it's like, okay, could we just talk about, you know. How I could throw money at something that to be in Pop Sugar that no disrespect, by the way, to Pop Sugar. We love Pop Sugar. But it's just like, I don't know if this is worth it. I almost didn't do it until
I can't wait to talk more about this off the air.
Having a conversation with Lamorne, he was the one who said, you got to do it. I love him. But Publicist, she's introduced me to the stylist and a groomer who's fantastic and was coming here and like doing stuff. And it just felt like.
Your hair is so long right now.
I just got a cut. Same with you. Your hair looks
OMG,
great.
but it's so long. But it's so cut.
So I'm talking with Miranda and Annabelle, and they're talking about Annabelle does theater, Miranda does auditions for film and television, and you have to dress up when you're auditioning for stuff. You have to put on the nurse's outfit for some reason. Do you have to do that in theater? She goes, not so much. I'm like, well, let me show you what it would like. Sometimes you have to, and then I just snapped, and then because the timing worked out great, and now there's a stylist here, and we did this little like Pretty Woman montage. But I don't remember where
you're
we're
going to show that in the exclusive content for your Patreon, but you're going to tell the goblins that it happened in this pod.
Check it out.
Wow.
Maybe we'll put a little teaser in too.
Oh, cute. See?
Pretty woman walking down the street. Pretty woman, the kind I'd like to meet. Pretty woman.
I'm just looking for something that pops.
Ooh.
It just maybe with a nice. Do you have like a nice hat?
Yeah, that's clean.
I like that. I'm into that.
Na 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 pretty woman. Yeah, Carla says yes.
Great.
Where she goes, you're disgusting. You're fucking disgusting.
Yucky.
NPR book review.
Yes, it's very NPR book review.
Yeah, let me try something. Good call.
This is Fresh Air with Terry Gross.
Speaking with Fresh Air, I'd like to talk about Fresh Prince and Will Smith and his opportunity to teach the world on how to fail forward. That is Will Smith on failing forward. Now tell me, Will? Like it feels, and I'm sorry I'm wasting your time, but it's for the craft.
You're not wasting my time? No.
Well,
having a great time.
Grand old time.
Oh, yeah.
I still think you're fucking gross. Okay, all right. Relax, I get it. I get it. Okay. I don't remember where we were. Why did we end up
Doesn't even
talking
matter.
about
This is what
Publicists
happens every time.
or stylists?
Well,
Money, what you have to pay for, the costs of things.
But that's not how we got into Publicists.
So we were right before we were talking about how, how many episodes of television, network.
Oh, and then you
versus-
said you were doing like, for this week and a half
You
of
said
press.
it's inside baseball. You said, I don't know how much. And I said, well, as long as, if it's not intuitive, you explain it.
I don't know.
First base.
Hughes on third.
Yeah. I was thinking because of inside baseball also. Yeah, but we were on a path. That's epath.org, more specifically, about something that we were talking about with how much stuff costs and what it feels like in the bubble that we're in. And like, it seems like it's this and that, the house, the Patreon. Yes. The money I was making from Patreon.
Nice.
On top of the money that I was paying for rent already. Let me move here. I'm on a TV show. That didn't give me the security enough to just upgrade to another, place that I'm renting.
No.
Yeah, and this podcast has been so great because every week I get to put something out,
Oh, that's what we were talking about. We're back together. Here we are. Back on the same page. Yes. That I think it's hard. I mean, I remember the first few months you were doing this podcast, you were like, what I just thought of emotionally was when Ursula turns the mermaids into those like little things with the huge eyes that are just like exhausted and dying. That was you. I was like, the podcast is amazing. And you were like, it is so, you were doing everything by yourself. You may have had like someone doing one thing. And it was just like, I hope people listen.
I had little people helping here and there on some of the episodes, but it was
no, I remember. And
not
you were,
sustainable.
No. And so it's really easy to be like, well, yeah, I mean, if you just like make a people tell me that all the time, make a podcast. It's like, yo.
Well, some people, I don't know how big your audience is, but if you already have an audience, you can. I didn't have an audience.
I don't know if I have an audience. I have a couple people, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, if you could get 2,000 people a week to watch your podcast,
I think I could.
Or listen to it, listen and or watch, then you're a huge head start from, I mean, there are people that we know that are getting, under 1,000 per thing.
What should my podcast be?
I don't know. Something that you care about, because otherwise people won't.
No, I know.
Stay on top of the blanket. Stay on top of the blanket.
He will. He's just rubbing and being a nice boy.
I hate that I care. And I'm
But he's on his foot went off. There you go, Daddy. You're only doing rubs. Ricky doesn't know you always do your rubs of each day.
I want a dog so much. I think that I would have to be okay with the dog.
Well, it would be like exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Like you would just be like, all right, what's a good,
He looks so much like, what's his name? Dobby, doesn't he? Hi, Dobby. Hi, Glenny Dobbs.
Hi,
Ricky. As you said, hi, Ricky. I don't think that the Doggie's in frame there. He's so cute. So what else?
Nothing. How long is this podcast gonna be? We're talking for like 2 hours.
No, we haven't. We're not even an hour and a half yet.
Oh.
I guess we could end it, right?
I'm happy. Are you
Fucking kidding? I'll sit here all goddamn day. It's one of my favorite places on earth. I just was like, how long are you gonna?
Getting guests.
He just farted. Maybe I did.
Obviously, you did. The way you did that, I
Can
saw.
I tell you something?
Yep.
It went from his asshole right into the back of my throat. I 100% didn't, but it doesn't matter. Maybe I did.
Let's cut to a replay, please.
Getting guests.
He just farted.
That wasn't me. That was 100% Glenn.
Okay.
Because my smell would have come from here. His smell, it came from here into me. Also, I would have known if my ass opened and I farted on your couch. But
a lot of times I don't know.
Oh, I've never not known that I farted ever in my life. Also, it was so small that it'll never reach to you. So this wasn't one of those like, oh God, there's a very big smell. I better make everyone in the room know it was my dog.
It came close.
It did not.
Getting guests is
He just farted. And this is a wild thing to say right now, given the circumstances. He just farted again, and it sort of singes the back of my nose hairs.
Yeah, eggs make you fart.
Yeah, he just ripped 2 hugies.
He did.
The second one might get to you, even though the first one didn't.
I want to talk.
Also, if I was gonna fart, I would put my legs down. I'd cross my legs. I'd like try and diffuse it in some way. Oh, fair.
I just recently started doing a joke about my mom. Whenever my mom has to poop, she announces it to the room, and she announces it to the room by going like this: "Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh." Mom has 5 to 8 seconds to get to the bathroom. She never knows beforehand. I think there's got to be an allergy or something. Did I ever tell you the story about when my mom pooped on Betty's rug? We'll cut to a clip. What happened?
I go to the bathroom all the time. Every 5 minutes, I have to poop.
Wait, you pooped your pants the other day, really?
I swear to God. You're not taping me, are you?
No, but why are you pooping your pants all the time?
Because it's not all the time. I just poop my pants sometimes because I have to go and I can't hold it in. And it's like that time when I came over to... I know, but I sometimes don't make it there. Like when I came to Betty's house and then I pooped on her rug. Yeah, I ran into the bathroom, pulled down my pants as I was going into the bathroom, not knowing that it was already starting to come out, and a big plop fell out on her rug.
If you don't have time, can't you, do you understand once you feel like you have to poop, there's a sense of urgency? Maybe you need to get to the bathroom faster than you think?
Yes, but I was walking to her house.
My mom, we were in London, and my mom didn't know how far her hotel was from Betty's place because she walked over. I don't know what that means. If you thought it was 5 minutes and it was 15, what's the difference? Just poop first. Wait. Oh, I think she was drinking coffee. Something hit her on the walk, and she didn't know. Like she didn't know which way. So she comes in. Hi. Oh my god. Oh no, I have to use the bathroom. And Betty's probably thinking like, "Are you okay?" I'm thinking like, "Hello."
Oh, she's gonna shit her pants. Yeah. You're like, "What's up, mom?"
What's up, mom? Says hi. And she waddles to the bathroom and comes out 2 minutes, 3-4 minutes later. What should I do with this? She dropped a little poop on the bath mat because she pulled down her pants before she got to the toilet to save her a little time, and a little duty fell out. And my mom must have pooped so much on bath mats that she treated it like she dropped her phone. She didn't come out and, kind of dip her toes in and be like, "First of all, I'm so sorry. There's something I have to tell you." She came out and said, "I pooped on accidentally got a little duty on your, what should I put it in the wash?" And Betty's just like, "Just throw it out. Throw it away. You just pooped on my..."
Burn it. Put it in the fire in the backyard that's comprised of all the other things you took a shit on, Debbie. Thanks for popping by.
And she's so funny and sweet and comfortable with this stuff. And I remember I called her, the clip that I put up, I called her and asked her to tell the story. And she's like, "You're not going to put this on there, are you?" And I go, "No.
No, of course not."
And then afterwards, I'm like, "Could I put it on there?" She's like, "It's fine."
Of course.
But
the hero.
But yeah, so we're at home. I'm at home, and she just, oh no. Some people would cross their legs.
Of course.
Mom will just, just in case anybody doesn't know, I might shit myself.
She's the cutest.
I know sometimes fart. I could be by myself and smell a fart and be like, "What's that?"
That's never happened to me one time in my life. No way.
What do you guys think? Do you guys ever fart? I don't know if it's because my farts are sneaky or I fart so much that you just... I didn't realize I cracked my knuckles earlier.
You fart so much.
Yeah.
You do. And you love to say it.
I think farts are funny.
Yeah.
You know what else I think is funny?
Glen, are you okay? Glen, are you okay? That was intense. I don't know how to console you when I feel the way I do right now.
If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll certainly find them. Yeah, farts are funny. Poops are funny.
Yeah.
Do you find them funny?
No.
Do you find them gross?
Not really. I just don't know why. I just don't like... I don't know why.
Because you have brothers and they did that kind of stuff?
They didn't even really. Like, it maybe. Like, I think my brothers used to fart on me when I was a kid, but I don't know that I, was super upset about it or thought it was funny or really had that much of a reaction to it. I just think for some reason as a grown-up, it's not like... A lot of things make me giggle, as you well know. Farting and pooping is not one of those things.
What about somebody that accidentally farts and you hear it? You hear somebody with their fart.
It depends. Like something that's very funny that's happened is like I've been in Home Goods and like an old lady in front of me is just farting as she shops.
Yeah.
And that's pretty funny to just be at such a point in your life where you're just like, you're just like taking like tissue dispensers.
Me on a plane, by the way.
100%. But when times like that, you're like, oh, that's just funny because it's cute and it's just an old person, just, But otherwise, I think I've giggled at some babies like farting and then they laugh about it.
Did you think the diarrhea I had on you was funny?
That was hard to laugh at because I was covered in diarrhea.
Right.
And so I think in situations like that, and
Maybe
I'm not proud to say this, when I see it, I'll laugh. But when it's happening to me, I lose my sense of humor in that moment because I can't believe what's happening to me. So it's like when you trip and fall and all your friends laugh and it's not funny to you because you're like, my fucking ankle. And then later your friend videos it and you're like, that shit's funny. That'll probably be like the diarrhea.
Have you ever... I did smell something.
Nobody over here. Then you farted.
No, it could have taken its time.
7 minutes have passed. You're 3 feet away from me.
And maybe I didn't smell anything.
We've gotten to the bottom of it, have we not?
Have you ever been dating somebody who farted, like not just farted, but farts, and it made you feel like,
That's a great question. I think maybe at the beginning of our dating, you maybe farted so much and announced it so much that I was like, okay, I think we can just like exist as human beings without like doing like every time you farted. I think it was a production. Good.
Thanks. Were you picturing that in post?
Yes, it's perfect. So yeah, I think. But I don't think so. I think most people I've dated other than you don't make a scene of their farting. Other than you.
Yeah, so you kind of lean into the tools that you have, and then you learn new tools. You get tired of your old tools, and you space them out. When I was younger, farting was a big one.
Big one.
It still is, but I do it creatively. Oh, that was real. The timing of that is fucking crazy.
And
I
you
do
shit
it
your pants a
creatively.
little?
Yeah. Do you know how to spell diarrhea?
Smell diarrhea?
Yeah,
that's a rough smell.
No.
Because it's like
do you know how to
pungent.
spell it?
No, I think it's DIRRH, diarrhea. It might be like DIARRHEA.
DIARRHEA. Yes.
Wow.
I talked about this on an episode recently with Sona.
I have trouble spelling diarrhea.
Go ahead. Let's see if
Why
you can
is
get
there
it
an
close.
H? I think it's DIRRHEA.
DIRRHEA? No.
No.
Let's see if it's even close enough to guess. No, it's saying you're saying dire head.
No. DIHRREA.
Nope. Are you close enough? Nope. That is digress or treat, which is what you tell a dog if he forgets what he likes to eat.
No.
What I do find though is Google, I could type in anything. It knows what I'm trying to say. DIRREAH. I said, and I also didn't even type the letters right. I tried to spell it different, but what came out was DIARRSH.
Oh.
Go. And it knows I tried to spell diarrhea.
No.
DIARRHEA.
That's what I said the first time.
Well, we'll play it back because I did everything. Let's see if that's what she said.
DIRRHEARHHEA. Diarrhea.
Love Zona.
Where it is my most Googled word because I use it, but I can never spell it close enough to spell check. Spell check doesn't get me.
Because your spelling is that wild.
If the technology exists, just spell check, figure it out. I could type into Google.
Correct.
And then they go, oh, did you mean that you want to find the refrigerator?
Mike Scharf is the exact same. I'll sit next to him and he will be typing something into Google. There isn't one thing. It'll be like 9 consonants and then 2 spaces. And then it says nothing. And then it'll pull up like famous animation from the 1940s. I'm like, how did you, that couldn't have known what you wanted?
I'd love to, pardon me for not bringing this up sooner, talk about Mike Scharf, Kristen Bell, and yourself, Doremi. We talked about it last time you were here, but I don't even think it was out yet.
It may not have been because it came out in the middle of September.
And, then it wasn't out yet.
No.
Is your Amazon show.
We're both on Amazon.
That you created, that you've been working on since 1998. And you write, 40 some?
50.
50, and every episode has how many songs?
1.
1 song. You wrote and co-wrote all of them. And Mike Scharf is our, the consonants that he types in is also the social skills of this boy. He is one of our weirder friends in the way that where even if you didn't see him draw, you would be like, the way he acts, he has to be brilliant.
He's got to be brilliant.
He has to have something that's like filled up with the attribute points that wasn't in the social skill department.
He's got some brain, Mikey Scharf. So Mike and I co-created Doremi together. My friend Dave and I co-wrote all the music. Kristen and I and Mike executive produce, and Kristen and I voice it. So it's just been, Mike and I started working on the show. I think I told you this last time, so I'm not going to say it all again, but we dropped 12 episodes in September.
What does he want? More food?
Probably. Come on.
Should
Jump up
I
here.
give more eggs?
No. Come on. He probably just wants to he's antsy. We're
Wants
just
to do
been
stuff.
sitting here, yeah. Your breath tastes like freaking egg rolls, baby. So we dropped 12 episodes on Amazon Prime in September. Then we had 2 Halloween episodes, 2 holiday episodes, and then another 12 came out January 14th.
So that's 16 plus 12 is 28. Where's the other 12? Not out yet?
The other 22.
Oh, 50, right, not 40.
Not out yet. They're releasing them. Like, we didn't know the January 14th date till a few weeks prior. So we'll see.
Very cool.
So exciting.
I've gotten I guess it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly who it is. Somebody who follows me on Instagram, but it's sent me a couple times. Their daughter loves it, and she sends videos of, which is cute that she sends me because she's like, oh,
She's
this
been
girl was on my podcast.
Oh, send them to me if you see him again. I'm sure
I
they're
think
like.
I sent you one because they sent me another one, and I looked up to see if I talked to this person before, because they said I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. You're very sweet, and you have such a beautiful home, but. She said Stephanie is loving Doremi, and it's like, well, Stephanie has to be established, and you scroll up, and you're like, oh right, she sent me something before.
She has been established.
Uncle Bob, shout out to Uncle Bob, by the way.
I connect people's internet, niche, specialized telecom, geographic location 211. Hey now,
starts conversations from episode 4.
100%.
The example I've used this before, but I like is when he sits down. He sits down, meaning I'm seated, he's not around, pulls up a chair. Paper products are always going up. And that's why you take a look at plates, napkins, paper towels. Everyone needs paper. I'm like, what are you talking about?
You brought me in at D. What happened at ABC?
What happened at ABC?
Oh, my parents do that all the time.
And also, how come you didn't then go to EFG? Where are we going with this?
Yeah, that's it.
We didn't talk about, even though we did before, I wanted to talk about, you brought up purple hot dogs.
Oh, purple hot dogs.
But tell me, do you have an example of your parents?
Well, no, but I was just going to say for purple hot dogs.
The name of the episode, by the way.
Perfect. Perfect. I was just going to say that it's interesting to watch you on As We See It, because I think it would be very easy for anybody watching to be like, oh, there's no way, like that a person would do that.
I get what you're saying, but I do want to say, for the purposes of the show, what it's doing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Is showing how, even though it's different, this is honest and how people think, and the intentions aren't what you're assuming, and in so many different ways across the spectrum, literally.
Is the term neuroatypical or neurodivergent?
Atypical. There's neurodivergent and neurodiverse. I think those are just different ways of saying it. There's neurotypical, which is what's typical.
Someone who doesn't have autism.
Statistically, there's more than that, so it's typical.
No, but I thought can you say if someone has autism, can you say neuroatypical or no?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know what you could say anymore as far as, what things mean. But just say autism,
yeah.
People will be like, sometimes people are saying, and I was just had a conversation with Dax, who posted, he worked with Jason Katims, who did our show, and he told me how much he watched the trailer, how much he loved, it felt like Parenthood and made him miss it. And he got a comment from somebody saying, you can't say Asperger's. And I get that stuff all the time. Technically, Asperger's is no longer a medical definition. Just like high and low functioning, it's what's the word? Not stereotypes. It
puts it all in the same box, and it's not in one box.
It makes one better than the other, so it's derogatory or
derogatory.
Thank you. It just puts a spin on it that I guess medically they wanted to change. So there's ASD level 1 and 2, and so it's different things. So ASD level 1.
That feels like levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 feels like a more harsh way to put it than anything.
Well, I think they're trying.
Is 4 the most autistic?
I think they're trying to stop the terminology high and low functioning.
That's not great.
And also,
levels is not great either.
Well, what you could look at somebody at level 1, which was commonly known as Asperger's, which I was diagnosed with, and then you look at this thing where it's like, oh, well, they have more obstacles. Yeah, but that's based on looking at a world filled with neurotypical people. These obstacles are communicating with these people. If these people were the typical, then these, so it's not worse, it's different. And the communication is an issue because, these people, if they don't speak the same language, it means that the typical people also don't speak a language. But Asperger's, a lot of people say, well, it's not Asperger's because Asperger's is in a way indirectly derogatory in some way. So I've gotten that when people have talked about it on the show, you can't say that, you shouldn't say that. And then I've seen comments on it, and a lot of people are like, I have this, I'm fine with it. People understand what this is. It's easier to say. Some people don't like it. That would be like saying you can't say black, you have to say African American. If you're not black, if you're not autistic, like, why do you have such a fight about this? And if you are, I don't know, but I don't think there's that many people of a certain thing that tell other people of that thing. I don't think a black person would ever tell another black person, don't call us black.
Or Jews. Never.
You can't say, you don't say Jewish American, whatever it is. Like, people don't teach people who are part of it. So it's interesting when they're telling me what not to say.
That is funny.
Or they're telling people who are commenting on my thing who have this and are using that term, you shouldn't say that. It's like, well, relax.
Yeah, 100%. It is wild when the people who are the thing or have the thing aren't upset about it. That to me gets me.
That's most of the stuff.
I know. It's like if you have the thing, like let the people who are the thing or have the thing speak for it. Now, I appreciate an ally, for sure. We all appreciate an ally. But I think it crosses a line when it's someone like, well, nobody who's even the thing said they mind that, and you mind?
The thing, they're not trying to be an ally. They want to be an ally.
Mm-hmm.
They're like casting themselves as this helper. But yeah, anyway, you're talking about you seeing the thing, and then I want to get into the purple hot dogs.
That was it.
Well, we didn't even do the purple hot dog story.
No, but you were saying seeing the thing.
So I want to continue the purple hot dog story.
I remember. So yes, I just think in As We See It, it was just really sort of a mind fuck, but in a good way, almost like a heartwarming mind fuck, to sort of watch you be this character that I've seen you be, obviously who you are, but a version of in real life.
I still don't see how I could have handled the purple hot dog scenario. And if you know, the version of, hey, listen, we're going to go through 400 picture frames. I just want to, what would have been the thing to say? Let's tell the story.
Okay, you tell it.
So there we were, right? Do you start with that? Jackie and I are dating. We go back to Long Island where, could you zoom in on the doggy? So sweet. We go to Long Island, and it's the first time, not the first time meeting your parents, but it's the first time being in their home. I had met your mom before and was gifted the information from you that I don't even remember, but just
I don't remember either.
She wasn't. She didn't love me.
Well, I would never have said that to you initially.
The Goodwill or wherever we were.
Yes, we went to a thrift store.
Went to a thrift store. Well, I went to a thrift store. You guys went to.
We were also at
Saks.
a thrift store. No, we were all at a thrift store.
Right. So in a thrift store.
You were shouting quite a bit.
I have autism.
We didn't know that.
I'm not really making an
Of course
excuse.
not, but we didn't know that.
Yeah, I also don't go to those places. I'm meeting my girlfriend's mom. We had just had brunch. I'm feeling good.
You know what's interesting too is like the way you are around your own mom. You're like, well, this is how I am around moms, and it's like you're a special way. I remember you were like bugging out at one point, like running around the apartment, and I was just sitting, and I was like on my phone, and your mom like looked at me, and she was like, "Oh, he's having Ricky time."
Ricky mood.
Ricky mood. He's in a Ricky mood. He's in Ricky time. And I was just like, you were in your 30s. Yeah. So my mom.
28 and 29.
So my mom, didn't know what a Ricky mood was and how to deal with that and how this grown man is acting, and she had questions.
Right. In my head, I'm just having a good time and playing in a toy store. And yours is, my daughter's dating this boy in shorts and flip-flops and looking at globes saying, could you buy me this? Or whatever the fuck I was doing. So that already
You were holding up a lot of things from across the store asking us to buy you them. Yeah.
Was it really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, that's not, I wasn't really asking you to buy them. I said that joke because.
We know you weren't asking.
If you got it for me, I would have taken it.
Sure. Was a menorah involved? All right.
I didn't have my wallet on me. I'm just saying I didn't need it. Just, you guys are getting, buy X amount, get some free. I wanted the plate, and we go home, and your mom already has not her. To give her the benefit of the doubt, maybe she didn't have her mind made up about me yet, but the game had started, and we aren't in the lead. Okay, so, but I'm comfortable, baby. I'm just home, and this is great. And your mom wanted to do laundry.
You're almost the opposite of the other character in As We See It, where he's like never comfortable. You were always comfortable. Like it didn't occur to you that there would be a reason you shouldn't be uncomfortable or that you should ever act a different way in a different scenario. And I think a lot of people act very differently depending on the situation they're in.
That's what I've started to do, and I don't like it.
That's not how you've ever been. And I think for other people who aren't used to that and don't know where you're coming from, there is sort of like, like this, this is a new way that I've seen a person behave the first time they meet someone. And I don't, me, I obviously love you now and loved you then. I was like, that's how he is. I think it's very sweet and endearing, and he acts like a kid a lot of the time. He acts like a grown-up a lot of the time. There's like a childlike way about you that I find really exciting. I look for that in the people that I surround myself with. So I noticed that there were things going on that, a perfect example, were not typical, but I was like, it's fun. This is like, we were enjoying ourselves. But I could also see where someone's mom would go like, oh, that's, that could be looked at as like a lot or something.
There's also, she's a Jewish woman, mom, so I mistakenly thought we've known each other forever. Jewish women, they tend to accept me, and now I'm dating someone who is, related to this person.
Right.
But also, it's a specific situation where it's not just about, I like this boy. It's also, what does this mean for my daughter? Also, to my defense, I don't know if you need it. I wasn't like, throwing spaghetti at the walls and pissing on the carpet.
Nothing close to that.
I was just, silly and hyper.
Yeah.
But also, there was, just beats, obviously, that were adding up for her that I wasn't like taking
clocking,
note of.
totally.
Yeah. And the laundry one was she wanted to do the laundry for everybody. I would rather do my laundry, but also like, I had questions. And she was there was the blanket that was on the bed, and it was these purple sheets that I don't remember if I saw creases in it or what, but they just, to me, they rang as they hadn't been washed yet. And I asked, have these been washed yet? And she goes, it's okay, I'll just do it all together. I don't remember this song, I just know the way I think. That wasn't what I asked. I wasn't mad. I'm just saying, like, just basically the last 8 seconds never happened. So now she's hearing me ask the same question again, but what I'm doing is you never answered me. No, I'm just wondering if they haven't been washed yet because dark purple, it will tend to bleed. Now, what she, I think, looking back, heard was, oh, you didn't wash these sheets?
Or I'm a 50, 60-year-old woman and you're telling me how to do laundry. I don't know they're going to bleed.
But I already said...
By the way, I knew where you were coming from. I didn't think it was that wild.
And I said, I did say first, I'll just do it. And she's like, no, just let me. So, but I'm just worried about them. And then, I know what I'm doing, Rick. And then she goes, okay. And I do remember, that was something I do remember being like, oh, that didn't go well.
But also, wasn't there a moment you wanted to wash your shorts just alone? You wanted to you wanted to do a full load of only your shorts.
I do.
That's how I remember it.
I do believe that the alternative to washing everything together would be maybe I only had a pair of socks and a couple of shirts and a pair of shorts. I don't know why I would have wanted to wash a pair of shorts because I bring multiple pairs of shorts. Right. But by design, all of my laundry would have been a small load. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like
totally wash. He wants to wash all his laundry.
But I'm also
by himself, itself. I get that.
I'm also the guy from the place who was running around, saying, let me buy this for me, or whatever the fuck I was doing. So then something happens. Something happens that none of us anticipated. Jackie, our emulsifying agent, went to her neighbors for a little bit. So now I'm in the house without.
Why did I go to my neighbors for a little bit?
Sink was broken.
Okay.
I don't know.
You were there for a little bit. A cup of sugar. Jesus.
You were there. Like you didn't just pop your head in. So now I'm spending time with the family, which is fine because everyone loves me. No one has a problem with Rick. I'm the best. So we're having dinner and we're cooking outside, and your mom is making some hot dogs. And I'm a curious boy, and what do these look like? After the laundry incident, I didn't want to say, can I take a look at those hot dogs? So instead I hovered until the grill was open, and I noticed that for whatever reason, maybe this is something that happens in Long Island, these hot dogs happen to be purple. So I now know after the laundry stuff, let's do a little research first, Rick. Before we call in our witnesses, let's have some evidence. So I look in the garbage because she just opened the hot dogs.
Looks in the garbage
to see when the expiration date was. And your mom, I think your mom, well, the hot dogs that were the last thing opened weren't on the top of the garbage. Why?
Not a chance.
What I remember? I remember your mom saying he dug through the garbage to find the wrappers.
I don't remember
and
that.
I'm thinking, why did I have to dig?
I don't remember that.
Now, there is a world where she threw it away and then there was just some paper towels on top.
Of course.
But your mom knew that these things expired years before. Years before. Years.
How many years?
I don't know.
Because they were frozen.
Frozen isn't magic.
By the way, yes, it is.
It's not.
You can eat frozen food. I probably have a loaf of bread in my freezer from at least a year ago. Yeah. And I still put it in the toaster and make a piece of fresh sourdough and put butter on it.
Okay, bread is different than meat.
Well, I don't eat meat.
There's also freezer burn.
Yes.
And listen.
I'm not saying she's right for having 2-year-old.
They were purple. And don't you say 2 like it wasn't 3+. 4+. I don't remember.
If you don't remember, don't throw 4+ in there.
But what I do remember is thinking like, also, this was years. And I'm not saying that only because 2 is the least amount to add the S. This was an old fucking purple hot dog.
Okay. It's not tracking, but I hear you. We didn't have, by the way, we barbecued all the time. There's literally no way there were 4-year-old hot dogs in the freezer.
I'm telling you.
Okay, I know.
Fine. If you do it all the time, but you would concede 2 years.
I wouldn't concede 2 years, but I think like they probably
minimum.
Here's what I definitely concede. They're
purple.
That I concede. And I concede that they were certainly past their expiration date because in my family, I don't know that this is a point of pride or a point of embarrassment, neither really. We freeze things and then don't abide by an expiration date because an expiration date is when it's fresh. No, it's for when it's fresh. If they're in the refrigerator, throw them out at that expiration date. If they're in the freezer, that's a different story.
I've had popsicles that have gone bad.
Correct. Totally.
He goes, popsicle?
He goes.
So the point isn't that your mom
and
is...
I'm not saying you're wrong in this situation, so...
I'm having fun.
Of course.
Your mom... Here's the truth. Your mom doesn't mind a purple hot dog. I'm sure she's eaten purple hot dogs. I'm sure she'll eat purple hot dogs again. A purple hot dog doesn't bother her. But I wasn't okay with the purple hot dog. And I saw the expiration date, gasped. And then...
What a collection of consonants.
Looked for you for 20 minutes before dinner's ready, and I had to close my eyes after the sheet stuff and mumble to your mom, I don't think I want a hot dog. Knowing that she's going to say why. And I just didn't have the tools to dance with her. I'd never heard this music before. I saw in the
I never heard this story with this much detail.
I saw in the garbage that the hot dogs had expired, and your mom goes, "You dug through the garbage." She knew. She didn't want that hot dog February 4th, 1976 to be just shining as soon as you open the garbage drawer.
1976, you asshole.
She said, "You dug through the garbage," and I said, "Well, I was trying to give her the credit and be like, oh no, it was near and I was curious. Well, I saw that they were purple. Well, we didn't have a chance after that to get through the day without, well, we don't mind them. We'll eat them when they're frozen. They don't expire. And that, I wasn't ASD level 2 to not clock that facial expression.
Yes.
And that's when the first time for me, I was like, Jackie.
I remember.
Yeah, and then the rest of the trip was a little.
I remember. It was hard. God, the trials and tribs.
I also recently just told a story of your dad about fanning the tip. I got some comments and people saying fanning the tip.
Fanning the tip is unreal.
I laughed so much because it was before your dad did it. You said, watch what my dad's going to do. Because he's generous. He wants to pay, but he also wants us to know it.
Of course.
And he tips in cash.
He wants a performative thank you. He's very unhappy if he does not receive a performative thank you. Man, wow, that is so cool of you. Thank you so much, man. Wow. If the person's like, thank you, he's like disappointed, goes to the car silently.
He took the cash and fans it out so you could see all the bills.
Like he's in a fucking poker game. He's all brrrr. Wants to make
sure my dad does with the tip. He fans it.
Like
I didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. You'll never forget now. Look at my son. We're just racing. I think we have to go soon.
Yeah. All right. We'll end it. But just in case it doesn't go without saying, that story is just funny and enlightening to like.
Okay.
She's trying to pull you.
Yeah. He says, "Come this way."
I know your relationship with your mom, and I know how lovely she is, and I want to make sure that because I think your mom watches all of these, that like.
Stop.
This was no less about me complaining about the purple dog than her having a purple dog.
It didn't
Maybe
come
a little
off.
less.
It didn't.
40-60.
It didn't come off.
All right, she wants to go. He wants to go. I love you.
Well, we can't end like this.
Why?
Or should we? Glenny, please. Be professional. I'm trying to bring you places like it's chill, dude.
Scoot doo. Blabbity blue. Scoop dee. Oh yeah. Skittle